Alright y'all, I'm going to try to take some time now and make the tractor video I've been wanting to make. So, first off, I appreciate everybody that's subbing and following me now. This came over from Prepper Nation and from Asymmetrical Preparedness. I really appreciate it having you here, and hopefully you'll enjoy the videos. But, alright, so getting a tractor was one of our homestead goals. We did that now. It's not exactly the one that I wanted, but I wanted a smaller tractor, one a little bit bigger than this one, probably a 25 or 30 horsepower with a loader on it. This is about 15 or 18 horsepower, and it doesn't have a loader, but it was such a good deal that I couldn't pass up. And right now, tractors are really hard to find, and when you do, they're really expensive. Especially if you're looking for new ones. I went this past weekend down to a big agricultural supply store, and I had to get a few things that I couldn't find anywhere else, for one thing, and the other thing was cheaper than Tractor Supply. But going down there, I pass a big John Deere place that's usually got, you know, a whole like show lot full of tractors. Well, when I went by Saturday, it was only about 2 tractors on the yard, and they were bigger tractors. You know, they're not what the average person would buy for garden or, you know, whatever type of use like that. And I've heard other people saying that finding a tractor's in a shortage now too, that the places are just not getting them in. You know, when somebody buys them, it's hard to replace them. I found a lot of used ones, like on Marketplace, on Facebook, and on Craigslist, but they're either really expensive or they're junk. With this one, actually the guy that works with us that runs a loader, his brother had it, and that's how I got it. But I got a good deal for it, so we'll go over some things. See if I can tilt it far enough. Not really. Alright, so here we go. Now, the one problem I have with it is it's not heavy enough on the front end. I've got a cinder block there to help a little bit, but it doesn't do much. I need to get some weights for it. But this is a Ford 1200. This is a 2-cylinder diesel, so that's one thing I like about it. I like diesel over gas. The wheels were really rusty, so I just cleaned them up with a wire brush and sanded them and painted them. I got a little overspray on the tires, but anyway, who cares? Now, this is 4-wheel drive. If it wasn't 4-wheel drive, it wouldn't be hitting on much, honestly. I've tried doing stuff with it in 2-wheel, like, you know, pushing with the road blade or, you know, some stuff like that, and it just doesn't work very good. But 4-wheel, it does pretty good. It's got the hookups there. Those are for the snow blade, but you can also hook a loader into it there. So it's got hookups already for a loader if I could find one for it. Or maybe I'll just end up making one day when, you know, I have extra time and extra money, stuff like that. Now, I would show under the hood, but I got that tied on there, but it's really, you know, no big deal. By the book, it holds like 3.5 gallons of diesel fuel. I did order a service manual for it, which I recommend. If you get anything like that, you should do that too. Now, one thing, this is where your throttle is. It works pretty good normally, but the only problem with it is the other day when I was bush hogging, you know, you have it up here for, you know, giving it more throttle and stuff, and if you come by a limb, it'll smack it and actually cut the tractor off. That's how you cut it off, pulling it all the way down. But you got pretty good brakes. This here will actually work as a foot fuel pedal to give it a little bit extra oomph if you need it. Down here is where your differential, or whatever you would call it, where if your back tire is spinning, you can hit that and make the other one pull a little bit too. This is the PTO. No, this is the high and low range. This is the PTO. That's one thing I do like about it, is the high and low range, so you're not stuck, you know, in a turtle gear. It's got 5 gears, high and low, so it does pretty good. It's got lights on it. These lights don't work. They wasn't working when I got it, and I haven't fixed them yet. This here I put on here. This here I bought new. It had one on it, but it was just so old and rusty it was hard to adjust. And I put these on there because it had some smaller things that got bent real bad. I put this on there, and I wanted a set of these. I was looking at them brand new, and it ends up that the guy that had the tractor actually had them laying around. The reason he took it off is because he broke this one, so I welded that bolt on it. This is still supposed to be attached, but I hadn't found a way to do it, but it stays pretty good like that. But the ones I were looking at new is a PATS system, quick hitch type, and I like that over the actual 3-piece quick hitch, because these you can adjust out how far you need to hook up whatever you're hooking up, the different widths and stuff, where the quick hitch you can't do that. Now these have these turnbuckles for your stabilizer arms, which makes these flop in and out to keep them stabilized. If you loosen them all the way out, they'll come out and hit the tire. These were froze up when I got them, so I had to take them apart and put them in a vise and unscrew them and clean them up and oil them up and all that. As you can see, some of the tread going off of the tires, where when he was using the tractor it would come over far enough to get on the tire and things. So I like these because every time you hook something up, like I said, with the different widths, you would have to undo that and loosen it up where you can swing the arm way over to get it hooked on the pin, and then you have to tighten it back in to keep it off of the tires. So that's nice, being able to just come down and hook up into it. So hopefully that's got the tractor pretty covered. Now let's go look. Well, we'll start with this. This piece here, this is a fertilizer spreader. I bought it at an auction. I got a good deal on it, I think. I got it for $100. It's in pretty good shape. It had a few rust holes, not nearly as big as that body filler there, but it had a few holes in it. And I wanted to fix it up, fill the holes in. I've still got to sand them down and paint it. Put some primer here. I need to do the whole thing and yada yada. These here, they're a little rusted out, but I can make some new ones to go on there, and then it'll be pretty much like new. I did have to buy that drive shaft there, the PTO shaft. It had half of it with it. It had the part that goes to the spreader, but not the part that goes to the tractor. And it was a really oddball 2-point system, and I couldn't find one to fit it. So I got the whole shaft, and I was looking up Tractor Supply, and theirs were $300 to $400 depending on what you get. I found this one at agriculturalsupply.com for $80 and $79 and some cent. And like I said, you can order it there, or you can, check and see if you have one in your area. I had one about hour and a half, 2 hours away, so I drove to it. So let's move on. All right, so we've got a disc here. and that did come with it. The hay spear came with it. It's actually, the tractor is not really big enough to handle moving a normal size hay bale. If you had a really small one, it would be fine, but it came with it, so hey. Next up, we got the bush hog here, and it did come with it too. I need to do a little bit of work to it. It works fine, just has a little, you know, rusted out and things like that. I need to cover it with some new metal and weld it down and, you know, all that fun stuff. But otherwise, it works fine. It cuts good. You know, the gearbox is good. It has both ends of the drive shaft. And next we got the one bottom plow. That came with it as well. And next we have the snow plow, which I will probably never use because it doesn't really snow that much here anyway. But anyway, it came with it. Whatever. And then we have a road blade, which is actually kind of big for the tractor, but it still does a pretty decent job with it. But it's in good shape. It's not, you know, bent up or tore up or anything like that, so that's pretty nice. And like I said, you know, it was nice being able to get the tractor in kind of a package deal without having to find, you know, all this different stuff to go with it, having to buy it, you know, especially if you had to buy them new and things like that. So that is helpful too. And this is the other thing that I went to Agricultural Supply to get. I wanted an aerator for my pasture. I really wanted a 3-point hitch, but they were just out of my price range at the moment. And I got this here. This is a 30-inch, you know, pull behind. So it holds water inside. It's supposed to be like 14 gallons of water. So when you fill it up with water, it's a pretty good weight. We aerated the other day when the ground was dry and hard. You know, we hadn't got any rain for a week or so, but it was going in a pretty good amount then. If you use it right after a rain, I'm sure it would go in probably about all the way. But so far that's been good. I'm hoping it's going to help with my pasture and with the grass growing and everything like that, since I don't have a lot of land, you know, a lot of pasture fenced in right now at the moment. This here is a dirt scoop or pan scoop, whatever you want to call it. I did buy this used from somebody a buddy of mine knows. It's pretty nice. It's probably a little bit big for that particular tractor too, but it'll still use it pretty good, you know, without overloading it and, you know, not having a loader. That makes it pretty nice, having something to move dirt and, you know, use it to clean out the goat houses and whatever, things like that. This here is actually one that my dad had. I've been had here for a while and just hadn't had anything to use it with, but you know, I already had this, so I didn't have to buy it. And there you go. This is a cultivator, and it has the foot back here to make your rows with to plant the seeds and stuff. So it's definitely a lot faster and a lot less work than the you know, regular tiller that I was using last year, where, you know, it's self-propelled and everything, but it's still harder work and definitely slower than the tractor is. All right, now last up is the rotary tiller. This did come with it as well, and this is probably a lot of the value of it. These things are kind of expensive, and it works pretty good. I've made the garden bigger since we got the tractor now, and you know, it's going to be easier to maintain. And I made another spot over to the side too. But anyway, I probably attach some clips on the end of here of different things that we've used with the tractor and a little bit of in action type of things. But other than that, I appreciate everybody watching, and if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. And stay prepped up, prayed up, and strapped up. See ya.